City Radio.
You guys, like, what's the name of the band and how long you guys been
Band
playing?
Slam Nancy formed in 19. So the real version is the band formed in 1990 at a party above a porn shop in downtown San Jose, at a house called the Danuba something or other. And it was a Halloween party, and I met Sean Pike, and then he introduced me to Dennis Morehouse, who's now a renowned drummer. And so we started playing for a while. Sean and then Carolee joined shortly after on guitar and keyboards and backup vocals. And then the original bass player, Sean Pike, we'll just say politely, was a little too friendly when he was drunk. So he had to go. And I got Randy, who I used to manage in another band. And then he started playing bass, and then we ended up playing pretty much for, members would come and go, but we played till like 1997 or so, 98.
That's 3 years to stay in the band for,
Yeah.
like the solid core of the band.
She kept trying to quit smoking, so she would quit the band like about 2 days after she quit smoking with a lot of cursing and bitching and moaning. And about a week later she'd come back, and then you would usually start smoking again.
It's true, yeah.
kind of
I
how it
quit
goes.
right before a gig once because I was just like, I can't, okay, hold this.
And we were telling her too much to do, and I remember that blowout. You know what? Fuck you! And just walked out, and I remember all of us, there was a bunch of us standing in line just watching her.
That's
So,
the guitar play. Okay.
well, okay, next. So it's a 3-piece today, right? Good?
It's a power trio.
That actually made the paper.
So tell me a little bit about your influences growing up. What were your like favorite bands, and like what got you really thinking about wanting to be in a band and all that?
So for me personally, unlike most people our age in the 40s, you know, it's for me it was whatever, late 40s,
Early 40s.
early 40s. So for us at 25. So I came out of elementary school once. My friend's mom had on the radio Neil Young, Heart of Gold.
Oh,
And I realized that's what I want to do, is write songs like that.
right.
You know, everybody says the Beatles and Zeppelin and all that. But
Well,
it was really
that was a little bit after your time, more or less.
No, I'm 50. It was
Oh,
right
you're
at my
50?
time.
Oh, well, that is, yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
57,
I
and
just-
the
I'm the
Beatles
guy-
were the thing
This
back
is where
then.
it's going to kill the interview. I'm the guy who hated Zeppelin growing up. That's going to end the interview right there.
No,
But,
man, that's cool.
No, so for me it was Neil Young, and it's taken me this many years to finally start playing stuff that's kind of showing that influence. After that, Cheap Trick, Hanoi Rocks, the Ramones, Green Day a little
Love
bit.
the Ramones.
We were doing Green Day type stuff before there was Green Day.
Right. So what about you? What was your favorite growing
I
up?
was into like Iron Maiden, metal bands, and then I got into like a little more of the, more like pop, like glam bands, stuff like that. And then
So how long you been playing?
like 25, 30 years.
What, just a kid?
Just a kid playing guitar, and then I started playing the bass more. There's more, I feel like there's more of a need for bass players, so I always had a gig playing bass. So,
You guys have a lot of fun playing, don't you?
yeah, but good times. It's fun.
It's a tough job, right?
Yeah, it's,
But-
someone's got to do it.
No, we don't work hard enough to make it
Well,
fun.
that's what they call
Making a job.
Well, they call it playing music, not working music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
We have a real asshole for a boss.
so what about you? What was your influence?
With the boss.
Oh, jeez. Growing up, I was sort of into prog rock and some classical stuff. Like Rick Emmett from Triumph was a huge influence on me. Later in the teens, I started getting more into funk. It's like super syncopated stuff like Tower of Power.
Right. Oh, I love those
Fire,
guys.
James Brown. And that was in the late 80s, and when I came back from LA, I kind of brought that to Slam Nancy. A little more of a funk flavor to it, rather than just, your straight pop punk. So
Right.
got to diversify a little bit, and that was a lot of fun.
That is. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Funk is always fun.
Yes, we had an interesting mix there, because I actually grew up, as a kid I was listening to a lot of like Motown, R&B, and
Right.
funk stuff, then got into prog rock, then got into metal. I mean, if you're going to go back, although you're older than Iron Maiden, I mean, as far as music styles. AC/DC.
AC/DC, definitely AC/DC.
But,
Really? You don't say.
yeah, he's also in Long Gone Gone. He's a bass player.
AC/DC cover.
AC/DC tribute band, yeah. Been around 20 years.
So,
And then, so the drummer we had was from a progressive band who also played metal.
Right.
She brought the funk. She brought the funk to our junk. No. So it was like the original version of the band was supposed to be like a three-piece hardcore punk band with a three-piece horn section. That never happened. We all had our glam influences, so we kind of put that into it. Henry Rocks was...
Oh yeah.
Because I really started playing in the 80s. So I started playing guitar when I was like 16. And, the best... The best story from that is hanging out with a bunch of friends who are accomplished musicians from her neighborhood and playing with her brother too, and all of them telling me, you're never going to go anywhere. You started playing guitar way too late.
That's
You don't play in a
16?
cover band. I was 16. You started playing too late. You're in a cover. You don't play any cover music. You write your own music. Nobody cares, and they didn't realize somebody had to write the songs you cover.
Right.
So you're never going to go anywhere. They're all working jobs now, and I'm still playing music.
Right. Well, I mean, I know that there's a little bit of controversy, about cover bands versus like, original bands. And I understand, that the need for, playing original music. But, I always thought, if you're going to cover a song, make it your own.
Oh yeah, well like we did with Saturday Night
Yeah,
Tonight.
yeah. And look, I mean, even the Beatles had to play cover songs in order to, make it. So
These guys were all doing tribute bands in the early 80s.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with them, but they were much better musicians than me.
right.
And I always believe in hanging out with people who are better than you so you can
Oh, right.
learn from and aspire to. Some people don't agree because it makes it feel worse, but you always have to challenge yourself to get better.
Oh, that's a good credo.
But they didn't see it that we were all young, so they didn't see it that way.
Right.
They saw it more as an annoyance.
Get over here. I got a light in the background. Okay, no, you're good. It's that light back there was kind of throwing things
So,
out.
Call spotlight.
yeah, so so that was it. So, I wanted to start playing. I had a girlfriend at the time who was real supportive and just said, shut up already and do it. Start a band, And I had actually been managing bands and doing a lot of promo and stuff, and I worked for publications, so. And I did and still do concert photography.
Cool.
So I've worked with a lot of bands. I mean, it started when I was a kid. I was in the scene since I was 14.
And you go to the Cactus Club a lot when it was big?
We played all the time.
Yeah, no, I was stuck in that warehouse all those years. I wish I could have gone, man.
We played hundreds of shows, literally, like a couple hundred shows in our heyday for like about the first 3 or 4 years.
Right.
We literally played like 200 shows. And we played with some great headliners. Jet Boy. We were on some mismatched shows, Violence and Testament, some
Right.
bands, and we're doing pop punk. But we would always screw with people, so we would do. One day we'd be doing a cover of, not that we actually did that one, but a cover of John Denver thrash metal version. Another day it would be, as soon as everyone got used to that, we'd do a Journey song, something along that kind of style, just to mess with people.
Well, that's good. Mix it up, man.
We used to have a lot of props and stuff.
Or the DMC version of Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
So I was always a big fan of Frank Zappa too, and they always would bring stuff out like that.
If we were better, we'd probably have done some of that too.
We got some rappers come out that one show.
Yeah, we did rap. We literally were ahead of the times of everything. I always wanted to be, I didn't plan it that way, I just always wanted to be ahead of the game.
Right.
Everybody brought their stuff to it. So we were doing Green Day. I mean, Green Day was already a band, but they had their niche, and we were doing it at a bigger scale. So, and we had 2 top 10 requested hits on East Coast College Radio in like '93, which you heard both of them tonight.
Good.
Saturday night and the last song, Somebody's Been Sleeping in My Room. There was a DJ who read about us in a magazine and liked us.
Well, let me.
So,
Okay. Well, say goodbye. Say hello to Our City Radio.
IRC Radio.
How you guys doing?
Radio.
Our City Radio.